It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so it's another beautiful day in Vegas, or really, no, not a beautiful day. It's actually pretty dark and gloomy and dreary, and it's raining and it's cold, so it's not really the ideal Super Bowl weather for this weekend, but we push on here on True School Sports. A lot of interesting things going on in the boxing world, and one of those things that's very interesting is none other than Subriel Matias, the Puerto Rican monster, the guy that very few, if any, are anxious to fight. It looks like he's got some movement with his career because a report came out that Subriel Matias is in negotiations. He is in talks for a summer fight in Puerto Rico with Liam Paro. Now, Liam Paro, good fighter, top contender, Australian, coming off of two sensational knockout victories over Brock Jarvis and Montana Love. A lot of people respect Liam Paro for the performances, but they also respect Liam Paro because he's been here in Vegas for like the better part of 2 to 3 years now, sparring the likes of Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. So his name has a bit of a buzz in the sport of boxing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it in that regards. But yeah, really interesting stuff because we know that Subriel Matias has mostly been a PBC fighter. He's been a guy that mainly fought on their platforms. But obviously, if he fights Liam Paro, that means he would have to commit to maybe signing with the Zone and being a matchroom boxing fighter, which for me, really and truthfully, look, people can say what they want about Eddie Hearn, and they will. But I think Subriel Matias, I think Eddie Hearn will do the simple things to make Subriel Matias a bigger, star on the sport, which is like things such as bringing him to Puerto Rico on a consistent basis and things like that. So we'll see if he officially ever signs with Eddie Hearn. But as far as the fight, let's talk about Liam Paro versus Matias, because you got Matias. We know he breaks a lot of rules as far as him being a pressure fighter and just with his fundamentals. But we know that his conditioning is amazing. We know that he comes to fight. We know that he's got a way of drowning these fighters. So then when you match that up with a guy like Liam Paro is a fighter that, out that southpaw stance can do a little bit of everything pretty well. He counterpunch pretty well, got sneaky power. Boxing skills have sharpened up and improved over the years training here in Vegas. So this is no pushover. This is no easy out for Subriel Matias. And for Liam Paro, it will be his first world title fight. Many of you guys may remember Liam Paro actually had a fight signed with Regis Prograis for when he was the WBC champion to fight. And I can't remember. I think Liam pulled out. Liam Paro pulled out the fight, and that's how Danielito Zorrilla became Regis' opponent. So he finally gets his title shot. I actually think this winds up being a harder opponent for him than Prograis, because I think with Prograis, it would have been a southpaw matchup. Foot positioning wouldn't have been as much of an issue. I think Liam would have had a chance to even outbox Regis and control the fight with his feet. But with Matias, listen, he better do his sit-ups. He better do all of his road work, sprints, get a lot of sprints in, all that stuff. Because for however long the fight lasts, Liam Paro is going to need to be at his optimum shape to have a chance to win. And he's going to have to go into the Lions Den to go ahead and do it. He's going to have to go into the Lions Den in Puerto Rico to go ahead and beat Subriel Matias. So we'll see how it goes. But look, Matias is still looking for those big fights. He's still looking for those signature fights. But when you talk about all the guys that maybe aren't big names, but the top contenders of the 140 division, if this fight winds up happening, Matias is beginning to put a rather good resume for himself. A resume with a lot of substance. Ergashev, Hedemias Ponce, Petros Anian, Bakhtiar Jukumbayev, Malik Hawkins, Maxim Dadishev. A lot of good fighters on there. Even if you want to go early in his career, he beat up Breidis Prescott and he beat up his brother, Dalius Prescott. So Matias maybe he hasn't got those big fights yet, but all the guys on his resume that I named, they can fight. They bring something to the table. They're either durable or they're high level or they're undefeated. I mean, look, if you just look at his career, he's beaten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's beaten 5 undefeated fighters. And if you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If he fights Liam Paro, it'll be his 5th undefeated fighter in 6 pro fights. So he's fighting guys that don't know how to lose, guys who obviously have a lot of confidence due to the fact that they never lost. A lot of cases, these guys have been, high level amateurs, guys with a lot of experience in the pros and in the amateurs. And it doesn't matter. It's like my boy Pistol Pete Dobson says, same prescription, different patient. Same different opponents, but the same outcomes. And I just think I've heard a lot of people in boxing, from fans to media, they like to discredit Subriel Matias' resume and say, oh, he hasn't fought nobody, right? Because they don't really know those names and they're not up in the boxing. But if you know those names, if you guys know those names I mentioned, all those guys can fight. And when it comes to right now, in my opinion, who has the best, resume at 140 as far as depth is concerned, it's Subriel Matias. Teofimo Lopez destroyed Josh Taylor, but outside of that, all he has is a very mediocre performance against Santa Maria, where a lot of people thought he lost, and whatever fight against Pedro Campa. So his resume is better than Subriel Matias at 40. Devin Haney just only has being pro grade. His resume is better than Subriel Matias at 140, and that's just what it is. So right now, the guy who has been doing the heavy lifting as far as being the top contenders and the undefeated fighters and the guys that the other guys that nobody wants to fight, has been him. And when it comes to the subject of Liam Paro, this is a guy that I don't think would have gotten too many chances, just because, unless he became mandatory, just because he's not a big name. But that's the news. You guys can let me know what you guys think. Liam Paro and Subriel Matias are in negotiations for a fight to take place in Puerto Rico. It looks like Subriel Matias could be committing to becoming a Matchroom Boxing fighter and signing with Mr. Eddie Hearn, which would give Eddie Hearn a chance to promote like a top creme de la creme A-level Puerto Rican fighter, which I think would be a really interesting thing to see how he does with that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.